Alright, this is the first layer of the box. You can see that it is almost translucent. You can kind of see the blue part here through the first layer. That's proper tramming. That means it's going down completely flat, and it's actually so close that it's replicating the texture of the tape. So when the box is removed, and this is similar to when I did the lid earlier. This is the lid, and the bottom would be the top, or would be the actual first layer, and you can see there's a bit of a texture on the bottom of the lid, but the bottom of the lid is the first layer. So what we're looking at here is the box portion that I showed earlier, where this will fit. So you can see the first layer is equal, it's even, it's no breaks or anything, gaps or anything. It's literally smooth, kind of like a baby's bottom, right? That's what everybody says, smooth like a baby's bottom. But having it go down in that fashion means that it's going to replicate any texture that the build plate is. So in this particular case, you can see it is blue painter's tape. There is a bit of a texture to it. That texture transfers to the bottom of the print, and this is how it looks. This is the bottom, or the first layer. This is the back side of the first layer, and it should be smooth and virtually replicate the tape texture. And you can, again on camera you can't tell, but it is literally replicating the print surface. So as we're going right now, we're completing the second layer now, and I'm going to go ahead and let it print and then continue on. I'm making the box a bit shorter because I don't really need a box. I don't need it, but I need to show how my printer is reproducing the STL file or the G code. So all I'm doing is I have the bottom of the box, I have a little bit of the centerpiece, the rails or the walls of the box, up about a ½ inch. That's all I need, just enough so that this lid will fit in the box that I'm making. And again, it'll only be a short wall little box, because I don't need the whole box. And it can print the whole box or half a box or a quarter of the box. I'm just looking for the very first layer and up several layers up, just to get a sense of how this printer is set up and how it does, how it always does, and how it did on the lid itself. You can see the logos here. They're nicely printed. You can see them plain as anything. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm printing the box portion, very short, shallow, but enough to show what I'm talking about when it comes to printing, with a properly set up printer. My E-steps are, as I always say, at 93. Nothing needs to be changed in that respect. This is your basic hot end. There's no direct drive. There's no bullshit up here. There's not even an electronic gizmo here to, they call it auto leveling. Basically, that takes too long. This takes like 60 seconds, less than a minute, and you can start printing right away. You don't have to print any test G code and squares and circles and lines and all that. You don't need to do that. That's not a requirement. If you know how to properly tram the bed with a simple piece of paper, you don't need a feeler gauge. This is proof. You don't need it. I don't know what else to say, but anyway, this is a printer printing right now with the plastic extruder. This extruder came with the printer about 4.5 years ago, and if you have a problem with it, just replace the lever. The lever's like $3, 5 minutes, and you're back to printing. You just have to remove that screw right there. Leave the rest alone. The rest of it has less troubles than an aftermarket or so-called upgraded metal extruder. There's so many people with so many problems. They have to readjust E-steps. They have to readjust everything. Why bother? Just keep the body, change the arm. I mean, there's bad advice saying you got to change everything because everything's going to fail. It's been 5 years. I mean, if it failed right now 4 times, I wouldn't care. Because this works. It always has, always will. All my printers are set up exactly the same. Because if I change this one, I have to change them all. And I'm not about to do that because that's just not required. Alright, I added a knob here. This shows how the printer is laying down filament. It's properly spinning. You can see it during extrusion and you can see it during retraction. Alright, my filament goes in right here, straight in, because the roll is right here. Okay, straight in, straight through, straight down. Alright, that's 3D printing. And there's no issues, no troubleshooting problems. The springs are what came with the printer, as you can see here. You can also see my bed temperature. Check it out. The bed is room temperature. It's not heated. I've never heated the bed. Why should I? It's just not required. You can see there's no curling. There's no brim. There's no messy purple glue stick. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to let this sample portion of the box finish, and we'll fit the lid here in about, let's see what the remaining time is. It says 46 minutes, but we're going to go for 40 minutes. Let's just try it. Let's go for it. All right, happy printing. This is just what's happening now. I'm not making this shit up.